Right, I'm just going to follow on from the conspiracy theorist shit. Yeah, why I've got age restrictions on them things anyway. Yeah, I'm not a fucking just want to talk quickly about the psychedelic shit before I then move on to the conspiracy theorist shit. I did just make a video and was waffling and I went way off topic, so I'm going to cut the psychedelic shit and just go straight onto what I was talking about, which is how the media works. Anyway, quickly on that shit. Now, the taking of certain substances does open up areas of the brain, but once that's taken place, once those areas of the brain are open, the main thing you could gain from, well, basically, if you filled your mind, if you fill your mind with all that shit that Joe Rogan and the conspiracy network are pumping in, and you're living in imagination world, being told that taking psychedelics is some way going to help you in the world by these people, then the chances are that, you know, that will have an adverse effect. I think that's the word. And meaning a negative effect on your psyche. Certainly if you are a stranger to taking drugs. Now, natural or unnatural, I just want to point, natural products is a way they market all manner of shit to the population of the earth. Natural. There are many natural products, meaning natural things out in nature, that are poisonous to a human being. Being a natural product does not mean it is good for you. Now, the way these, just quickly on it, the way these programs do it is basically that what they claim is in mushrooms, psilocybin, is that it is more or less edible DMT. It's more or less the same molecule as dimethyltryptamine, allegedly, but again, what you are shown as molecules are basically weird shapes with a few little legs coming off of a weird shape, and they, oh, that's the molecule of that. And the way it's advertised in all these books and scientific studies by doctors and alleged experts, one that was actually employed by the government of this country as their drugs tsar, or whatever it is, the way they TSAR, I think it is, or however they, you know, their drugs scientist who they had employed to do studies allegedly on these things, that then he was sacked, which will gain him masses of popularity with drug takers. Now, only mental patients, like I have pointed out in the past, think that taking drugs is going to help you get out of the fucking situation you're in. I don't think so. Rolling around on the floor on mind-bending substances ain't going to get you out the problems in this world. While you are in a psychedelic dream world. Now they are advertising one, is synthetic, what they claim is synthetic dimethyltryptamine. And the way their argument is that how is it illegal to get a dose of something that the body naturally produces? Well, the body naturally doesn't produce synthetic powder that you smoke. And they are experts in brain chemistry and how to fuck up the body, the rulers of the asylum. And they're the ones that invent narcotics that are then marketed to the population for their purposes. The ecstasy tablet, what the ecstasy tablet does is make the body produce large amounts of serotonin, which is the feel-good and energy level chemical inside your body. So that's why it was used as a rave drug, because it gave the users loads of energy and created a state of euphoria and happiness, which then enhanced all the lights and the friendly love feeling of the rave, which is in a human being's natural instinct to a degree to be part of a large gathering of people, cuddling and being friendly towards each other. So if you have extra boosts of that into your body, then that will naturally make that a much more enjoyable experience. Now that was not invented by somebody who doesn't understand brain chemistry, the chemicals in the body, and how to create a chemical that then makes the body produce that chemical at accelerated levels. That had to be a neuroscientist, top fucking body chemists who understand the chemicals inside the body and all of that, for all of that to take place. And what they are claiming on Joe Rogan and Graham Hancock, and the geezer's name was Rupert Sheldrake. So I got the R and the S bit right again, because I'm trying to think back into my memory while I'm just talking. And just quickly, while I'm on the subject, now the joke video I made the other day about the education system, I was making a joke and reminiscing at the same time. In my head, I've had this argument, and when I watched it back, about the duck-billed platypus, in my head, the first thing that comes out is that they're extinct. And that was a genuine mistake on my behalf. But I'd had that discussion with someone in my 20s about the duck-billed platypus. And they'd laughed at me and said, no, they're fucking, what are you talking about? They're not extinct. And fucking, I'd looked into it and they weren't. But when I learnt about, I can remember at school, learning about duck-billed platypuses and drawing pictures of either them or their prehistoric ancestors that are extinct. So when I was this, literally, it was a genuine mistake. And, you know, if I was to, without too much thought process into what's coming out of my mouth, that would probably come out, well, it won't now because I'm going into it quite a lot, so my brain would remember that now. But it was a genuine mistake. But when I watched the video back, I'm like, nah, you dickhead, why did you fucking know that now? But the lesson was about that was regarding extinction of all its other parts of that species. So it's a lot of, you know, what goes in at that, you know, is very easy to get mixed up sometimes. But I'm correcting that because that was because I was just reminiscing a lot about the shit I learned because I just make shit up as I'm sort of going along. I just haven't, like I've said, I've tried to explain, I have an idea in my head of the area I want to talk about. And at that moment in time, I'd thought about a couple of things I'd learnt at school and was laughing to myself and thought, fuck this, I'll just make a fucking video. But yeah, you're not extinct. But that did come out, and I'm going to make a video about the education system, but I just wanted to clear that up quickly. It was a joke, but I was sort of reminiscing, and that has popped out of my mouth in my life. Because it's a brain, at one, I was someone that didn't take school, but I was very good at academia because, again, I would go into it. The school, my junior school, was trying to get rid of me. They were trying to get rid of me out of the school and trying to brand me with learning difficulties. And the teacher, the woman who came to assess me, because you have to go into, they call you special needs. And because I kept getting thrown out of class and I just refused to do my work, right, that's it. Because I got blamed for talking all the time. And what I used to be able to do is that the teacher would say, what did I say to you? And I'd be able to remember, what was I saying? And I'd be able to remember what she said because I'd be listening to her and fucking around at the same time. I think this is because I had a very, very strict nan. When I was a kid, I got punished for everything. So I was able to do things and keep a fucking ear out. So I would repeat that and they would get angry and start going, get away from them, you're the one disrupting. And I spent a lot of my school life out in what they call solitary confinement. When you're younger, they make you just stand there and look at a wall. In solitary confinement, in detention, because you're in a detention centre. And they tried to put me onto like fuzzbuzz and shit like that. And that's for other kids that were just fucking, you know, some people would struggle, but some kids just want to talk to everyone and not listen to fucking the bullshit because they're used to playing, because they're children. So this is in the early days where they're trying to condition you to just shut up and fucking listen and do as you're fucking told. And I'm certain it was in junior school I learnt about the platypus, and a lot of that I was chucked out of lessons. And again, because the lesson was about fucking their relatives of dinosaurs regarding extinction rates and all of that. Just want to point this out about clippers now. Years ago, you could have a clipper for fucking years. And years. Now, when you refill clippers up, they turn into flamethrowers. And just don't work as well, even when you put new flints in. It's like they're designed to fuck up a lot quicker than they used to be, like everything else. But anyway, fuck clippers. Fuck how they rip you off at the minute. Yeah, so I just wanted to clear that up quickly. Right, so psychedelics and all of this, yeah, they're basically that I've not taken it. But apparently millions have taken these substances, and what they've gained nothing out of it. What have they, what are they doing? Nothing. Talking shit on fucking talk shows and writing books about gunk that nobody can see. If a normal person reckoned that they'd taken these substances and was writing books saying that someone had instructed them to write books, and making allegations against the system, meaning royalty and all of that, ultimately they would have you up for criminal offences. It's a serious fucking criminal offence to accuse someone publicly in a book of murder, child abuse, and all the accusations in David Icke's books. They're criminal offences that if the majority of the population dared make, they would be sectioned under the Mental Health Act, and you would have the police and the establishments after you. Now, I know firsthand what happens, and my videos prove it, if you mention the word Freemasons to them, because I've done that in the past on video camera and they've broken every law. I am able to get away with doing that, where normal other people would be detained and sectioned off. I did make those allegations inside a police station, and they tried the mental health route, but I just refused to answer any questions because I'd made them while I was under arrest. And then I've not seen a solicitor. They've kept me for over 10 hours, which was the limit they could keep me at that police station, because I decided to get myself arrested out of Bedfordshire, where the missing persons campaign was, to make those allegations against police officers that were working for Bedfordshire Police. And Bedfordshire Police then instructed Aylesbury, they sent Bedfordshire Police sent their mental health team to interview me, and they were trying to ask me about Freemasons, and I said, well, what's that got to do with you? I've made those allegations to the police. It's a legal matter now. Where's the solicitor? Where's the police officer? If I've made those allegations to a police desk, why are you now questioning me on those matters illegally, behind closed doors, not under official interview, with a solicitor present or a police officer? So they couldn't pursue their questioning anymore. I said, what else do you want to know? Then they started on about, are you a Druid Ninja Warrior? I says, a Druid Ninja Warrior? You're questioning my mental health and asking me whether I'm a Druid Ninja Warrior. Okay. What else? Why you made those? I said, well, I'm trying to get help. And that's what you normally do when you're at a police station, isn't it? If you make allegations to a police force, that's what the police force are there to do, aren't they? Investigate your allegations to see if there's any claim in that at all. Instead, I'm talking to you and you're trying to ask me about a police matter, which is illegal. So then they had to let me, I passed it, and then that's why they took down that missing persons thing, and I was released free of charge. Later on, after I'd made all those, I made all those videos, and I got the police officer, a police officer, because what they'd done was move my son out of Bedfordshire, as I pointed out and put the things, and the police had tried to lie to social services. So then I made the video and I said to fucking Snips, do you remember on camera you remember I made those allegations? And because he'd admitted it on camera, that day I made that video, they dropped all bail charges on my son via telephone. all them videos were made. The one where I walked into the police station was the day that I found 2 days after, because I kept going into the police stations to find out information about where my son was. And I stormed round to my auntie's house, and in the end my son reckons that his mum's phone rung about 3 times, and he was told to ring me straight away to stop me from going into police stations and ringing social services up, because Luton social services just kept putting the phone down on me every time they heard my name, because it was massive what had taken place. Now, the second he's admitted on camera that I'd made those allegations to him and that he'd arrested me, they couldn't maintain those claims, because they would have had to have detained me if they had any concerns, because that's the law. So that's how I'm able to get away with that, and they just ignore me. And like I said, their law, you can't make you can't go into police station, because they would just, and they admitted that I spoke to the duty inspector. So if it would come back on their records and they wouldn't entertain you, they would just get a police officer there to detain you. But because they know that, a lot of wackos, if they were detained and then started doing that, they would start to blurt out all manner of fucking stuff to that mental health review, and they would section them under the Mental Health Act for repeating what is all over the internet, what has been advertised all over the fucking TV for 20 fucking odd years. While the people that have advertised and made those claims are advertised, allowed to publishing rights, there's a lot of laws in place that if they want to stop people from doing things, the laws are in place to stop them doing. Publishing rights is a massive one. There are laws in place, publishing laws, that it can stop people from making books. And that's very easy for them to do, because they own the whole publishing network. It's just because that's what they've wanted, which is what I'm trying to point out. David Icke also claimed that it was in the Peruvian rainforest that he came to see all of that information. That's where he found all of that, out in the Peruvian rainforest. I don't think he ever mentions that he drank ayahuasca, but he's in exactly the same place as Joe Rogan and all these other conspiracy theorists like Graham Hancock. And Graham Hancock is also on that video, The Culture High. I'll put the thing up, and if you can still get it now, give it a watch. And that is along the lines, because there was loads of programs on Netflix, loads. There was another program on Netflix about a reporter from America who'd made a video about what they called the White Taliban in Afghanistan, claiming that there were white special forces units massacring families all over Afghanistan to get them to rise up against the Americans and British to create a war, creating insurgents basically. That was on Netflix, a massive big documentary as well. Netflix is a mainstream media outlet that advertised conspiracy theories. They are all part of one giant conspiracy. Now, the taking of psychedelics, drugs, meditation, and all of that, because what it does is it takes people down into the myth, and YouTube bombarding everyone with old myths, claiming that there's hidden knowledge in the pyramids, and they're basically convincing mental patients that, of magic, and that there's some way out of this world by taking drugs and meditating. Sitting about doing nothing, basically, because that's what they want people to do. Tell them about all the world and get them sitting about with their eyes closed doing nothing. Or rolling around on the fucking floor off your nut on drugs. That's going to help you out. No. So when I said there's something in psychedelics, meaning that you could probably, you can drink mushroom tea in a very light form and have a very mild trip, meaning everything's buzzy and a bit weird and you can have a laugh with your mates, and that will open up areas of your brain. But I'm not sure about the way they do it on there. They're telling you, like Joe Rogan and Terence McKenna, who was there's conspiracy regarding what he knew about. He's nothing. He was just a bloke who reckoned he took loads of stuff and waffled gunk for hours and hours, more or less claiming it's like an alien technology hidden in plants. Again, if a normal person made those allegations or statements to anyone in society, or you'll be getting banged. You'd have people, the police and the mental health people, coming after you. Yet they're allowed their millions of views all over YouTube and putting the recommendeds and shit. And they're saying to take a massive dose of psilocybin, 5 grams. Now that would literally take you into a fucking wacko, that's a seriously high dose. That could fuck you up and send you into a fucking drug-induced psychosis for the rest of your fucking life. When I was a kid, there's a bloke who in Rumfold called Mad Steve. That was his nickname because he was mentally ill, Mad Steve. And loads of people I knew used to go and sit in Mad Steve's flat and smoke weed, because at 30, I think 13, 14, maybe 15, I think people had stopped going there around that sort of age, because he was a complete wacko. But that age, you're hanging in parks trying to smoke a bit of dope, freezing cold and shit, you know what I mean? So, or in sheds or somewhere in a garage, trying to fucking, in a fucking abandoned garage somewhere, or a fucking abandoned building. Normally where we was with kids, we'd find abandoned buildings, which was, when I was a kid, my fucking little we had an abandoned youth house which was Trinity Road Church, Trinity Church, Trinity Youth place, and it was an abandoned building where we used to go in, smoke weed, drink, and set on fire and smash up. But anyway, as a kid, everyone used to go round to fucking Mad Steve's and sit round Mad Steve's. Now, I went round there once. Everyone's going, come round, come round. I was like, fuck off, he's a fucking nutter. I'm not going, look, his sound, he's all right, his sound. You just sit there, it's better than sitting out here. So I went round there once, and, you know, ultimately, there's a fucking madman sat there doing this, like a fucking complete fucking wacko, rubbing his head and coming out with complete fucking jibber jabber fucking wacko shit. And I've gone, fuck that. I ain't going round there ever again. Fuck that. What you fucking doing sat in with a fucking mental patient? You're fucking off your head. If he fucking flips out and fucking kills all of you, or one of you, who's to blame for that? You. Because you went round sitting round a fucking wacko's house. And in the end, Mad Steve suffered an episode and kidnapped the next door neighbour with fucking tinfoil wrapped round his head, tinfoil in his ears, tinfoil up his nose, and a kitchen knife. And took the next door neighbour hostage. Because a lot of people knew the next door neighbour as well. She's a woman, I can't remember her name actually. Because I did hang around down Rumfold, but I hung around in a lot of different places. So I weren't at Rumfold as such. But I was there a lot. And hung around with a lot of people from Rumfolds. But yeah, I can't remember her fucking name, but I remember Mad Steve, because it was an episode. And that happened through taking fucking a large amount of mushrooms. You know, a gram of mushrooms put into a pot, or a few grams, say, you know, 3 or 4 grams, or, you know, and there's a load of you drinking a few cups of tea, is a laugh. Eating 5 grams to yourself, and they claim to do it in a dark room, you know, I don't think would end that well. I've not done that, and I wouldn't intend on doing that, because I know how powerful that shit is. But, and again, in the media, they claim like Steve Jobs invented the iPhone while on acid. And they're trying to build up like taking drugs is a way of intelligence, when it would just take you know, I wouldn't believe what these people are telling you, that they sit around taking drugs all the time. And Graham Hancock is even, in one of his books, was claiming that there's like fucking voodoo witchcraft on the go. That happened at one of his sessions, where a bloke was fucking some sort of fucking doing juju magic on fucking other people, taking fucking trips and coming into their trips and all this weird shit. You know, but again, this is stuff you can't fucking see. Being told to people, like, how many people will actually get to the rainforest. It's very expensive. It's thousands of pounds. Most people will have children, family, you know. It's not some, oh, I'm just going to whip off to the fucking rainforest to go and drink this shit. And again, getting everyone's mind a million times away from their reality. That's all that would do. Take you millions of miles away from where you are, your own town, your own place, your own fucking life, and get you dreaming of floating around in mystic fucking wonder worlds in the fucking rainforest. When this land, it should be rainforest. It's gunk. And that's what the conspiracy, because they know that would, if people actually did that, when their brain had been pumped full of vast amounts of shit, they could suffer a drug-induced psychosis of epidemic proportions from taking that amount of stuff. I know quite a few people that have lost the plot from taking fucking through my life. A girl as well who used to go down to Exodus. Someone we'd taken trips and shit together. She suffered a fucking mental breakdown, a complete mental breakdown, and suffered for many years while at Exodus. A few people that went to Exodus. I weren't really, I took trips. I didn't take trips at raves or anything like that, but I took them for a while and then was like, well, I've got to stop taking that shit because you know, it ain't good for you. You know what I mean? Ultimately, if you know, you can take it in little bits and have a good time and have a laugh and shit, but not everyone has good laughs. The majority do. But some people do fuck up from taking that shit. That fucks them up their whole lives. Because it's very dangerous stuff. And I definitely wouldn't fucking... there's nothing in it, as in anything, to do with one talking to the dead. I'm just saying there might be something in... I'm not having that bullshit. Yeah, I'm not having it. I won't have it because my life's experience is that the majority of people can have a trip and have a good laugh. But for a lot of people who take too much over a long period of time, or a massive dose, I think the story behind Mad Steve was that he ate a carrier bag load of mushrooms. And he never came down from that trip. Now, I don't know whether he ate a carrier bag load or not. But a 5-gram dose of dried magic mushrooms is a serious dose of magic mushrooms. And apparently millions do it. Where are these millions of superheroes or magicians and shit running around then? You know, what's there to gain? Charm, you know, it's wacko bullshit. Using conspiracy network, which just through the imagery and what they show people can drive people insane. They're also telling people to take high strength, mind altering substances that could render them a complete fucking mental patient for the rest of their existence. And like I said, they reckon they do them. What does Joe Rogan do? Talk shit about not a lot. And rubbish quite a lot of the conspiracy at the same time, because he rubbishes it. Like I said, to claim that they're they've murdered millions of people in Iraq, Afghanistan, and around the world for power, control, and money is a massive accusation. To say that they blew up and murdered thousands of people deliberately for control and laws, and that they murder scientists around the world that work on projects and all of that, they are massive accusations, and they poison the world's water supply. is giant. And then to claim it ain't all that serious. Because that's what you're dealing with mental patients. They are facts. Every one of those are facts, actual facts. But that's how serious and big the situation is. Not how unserious it is. And the answer to that is just to take drugs and meditate. He claims he goes in these fucking like swimming pools and go into meditation, man. Floating pools. Float tanks or whatever. It's just gunk. Absolute fucking gunk for dickheads and mental patients that just sit there watching fucking flashy screens and think there's any reality to any of that and hang on to every word that these wackos are coming out with and bullshit that these celebrities and stars, some are superstars, some are stars in that network, on that conspiracy network. And like I said, the conspiracy network takes many different forms, from the intellectual down to the fucking completely wacko. But the completely wacko is actually more to the reality of the situation, just without their wacko bullshit added. Now, Alex Jones, the shit on this Jade Helm shit I want to get to. Now, in 2015, this fucking Jade Helm shit was fucking massive. You had government officials, ex-army officers coming out, video footage of military fucking equipment being transported all over the whole of America. And what the American government and police force did was they ran an operation, a public operation that was on the fucking news and everything, a military operation. They called it a fucking dummy run, where basically they took down the streets of America. And they'd held that publicly and on the news. Then you've got the amount of information regarding this. So you've got exactly the same format, ex-FBI, ex-fucking CIA, ex-fucking this, ex-fucking that, ex-army fucking people saying, if I turn up dead, but I've got to say this. And it was about Jade Helm, which was them taking down the country and forcing everyone to take loads of vaccinations. Which has now been removed from YouTube and banned. Which then gives credibility to all the wackos that looked at all of that. And again, they're telling you the facts, but in the wrong way of telling you it. So that there, I want to just get to this. So what they have done over the years regarding the conspiracy theory, and it did not even start with David Icke. It started earlier in the 80s. I think it was 80s, with another book. I can't fucking remember. Orwell. Was it Orwell? Something like that. 1984 or some shit like that. I've not read that book, but a lot of people have mentioned that book to me, which was also a conspiracy theorist about the state taking down the population and creating wars and shit like that. Something like that. So it's over 20 fucking years of advertising in the main media to bring the conspiracy network to today, so that they can now use those networks that bombarded and got millions of people to fucking believe that shit and send loads of them insane, because that's what that devil worship shit and all that was about. Because they show it on the mainstream media, Bohemian Grove, and then they tell you that all the pop stars, all the things, and all this evil fucking devil, because it goes from lizard to pagan devil worship shit. It's the devil from the Illuminati, from the ancient pyramids, and they're aliens and our devil, and it goes down to devil shit as well. So it's not only alien lizard shit, they're claiming it's devil shit. So they're all devil worshippers, all devil. So they're making out like it's spiritual, magical worship. When that's bullshit, because you've got to look, nothing is spiritual, magical. It's just simply using technology and the media to install complete fucking mental health onto the fucking wacko population, to drive them insane and rise up and refuse, so that they can depopulate and put laws in place that the wackos, obedient little mutts, will scream for onto them, to protect them from the uprising that they want to happen. And create the full-scale takedown with a complete control and maximum security on the streets of the world. Then they can start all their other bullshit. But that's what that Alex Jones was going on about. And that Jade Helm, like I said, they actually hold events that back that shit up. So they hold these meetings, this Bilderberg meeting every fucking year. And all the wackos go there, all the Bilderberg, because they think by awakening people, it's going to help the matter, when all it's doing is giving more numbers to the amount of people that will panic at the last minute and do ridiculous, stupid fucking things and get wiped out and fucked over in the same motion, to benefit the rulers of the asylum for the next stage of the evolution of the slave. Because they know they can tell people the fucking truth, and the majority of the baby fucked in the head wacko mental population won't listen to a fucking word of it, regardless of how much information there is available on it. And the amount of information available on it is literally to get mental patients to occupy their entire time, once they've realised that situation, and do nothing in being able to prepare for the actual events or eventualities that take place. And there will be no cohesion, and they know who every single motherfucking person is, because it's done through your fucking mobile phones. People think that they by holding pay-as-you-go phones and all of this, they don't know who you are. It's gunk. What happens is people don't realise is that on the cameras, all cameras flash up mobile phones as well. So what takes place is when you drive, even on the traffic lights, so those traffic lights, if you drive, they're pinging your mobile phone signal. So they tie every single fucking, to the registration of a vehicle, to the phone numbers that are inside that vehicle, accompanied by photographs of the occupants of those vehicles. And that works on pedestrianised cameras as well. So if you're walking down past any cameras in what they would call public places, they will have a shot of your face accompanied by that mobile phone. It also has a camera on it. So as you're looking at it, they know who's fucking looking. And that, you press a button on it and it will show you a photograph of where you are. So they know where every single fucking person is at all times. So they would just go round and start rounding up anyone that they thought would cause problems. But the wackos just sit there watching more bullshit. On the 7th day, you know what I mean? On that island, it's just wacko, and they get people walking around repeating numbers and believing that they can gain magic powers by taking fucking drugs, meditating, or escape the world in any way, or, again, because of the devil shit, please God, come and save us. Beg more. And it's all done as white conspiracy, white rule, white conspiracy, white devil. When the conspiracy is much deeper than that, because you have to look at what's taken place in the countries that are allegedly evil white rule. Those countries have allowed millions and millions and millions and millions of their alleged enemy that they're cruel to around the world, meaning Muslims, into their land. At the same time as allegedly being evil to Muslims around the world, while actually helping Muslims around the world at the same time. So they help them in Arab Spring, they help them in Syria, they help them in Bosnia. They help them there, but they're mean to them there and there, while allowing them to come here and make laws, and now they're all in power here. Because it's just wacko fucking shit, because you're not looking into anything. You're being they take everybody millions of miles away into the past, into the fucking future, into magical fucking loopy fucking la la land of fucking bullshit, and away from doing anything positive in their actual existence or preparation, or be able to talk to anyone, because that's how successful they are in running the population, and understand how mind control and how all the different by this stage you have prisoners that just are so dumbed down to epic levels, and prisoners in their own home, and prisoners to the electronic devices, and petrified of everything, and weak, and just fucked, and mentally ill, which is what the education system did. Dumb you down, teaching you gunk about stuff from around the world that has no relevance to your actual surroundings and your actual life that you need to lead. They don't teach you anything about that. You were taught about gunk around the world, all their agendas, which is now gay agenda, the race agenda, for the divisions in the population that they create for the purpose of an incoherent society, so that when you want to take them motherfuckers down, they're all too busy fucking fighting amongst themselves like 2-year-old children about 2-year-old baby fucking bullshit and garbage to be paying attention to the fucking top and think that you know, there would be anything. I'll go into other things in more detail, because I am trying to talk about the fucking conspiracy network and how bullshit it all is and how it's been done. But anyway, this Jade Helm shit was massive, massive, massive. They've got FEMA camps, they call them FEMA camps, all over America, claiming there was fucking things. Again, this government official shit. So you've got shitloads of programs using ex-government officials, ex-fucking CIA, ex-FBI, ex-military. Ex-military soldiers saying, we're being trained to take down the fucking citizens. If I turn up dead, I'm going to be fucking this and that. There was more shit regarding that Jade Helm than you could possibly imagine on the internet at that moment in time. Plus, backed up by the fact that the government and the police force in America, the federal police force, had performed an exercise of them taking down their own streets. And all of that was regarding a vaccination programs. So, what they have done over the introduction and the complete creation of the asylum since the world end of the Second World War, when they allegedly claimed it ended, the world has gone to a complete revolting, disgusting hellhole, shithole, full of fucking disgustingness, drugs, prostitution. You know, it's a scumhole now. It's deteriorated. The world has deteriorated dramatically, yet they claim that they won a great war. But since the introduction of all the things that came into that war afterwards, now you have an obedient society. Because before then, you had to be forced to fight. Otherwise, you wouldn't have fought. Now, because of the media, education system, and the televised images, now you have obedient, wacko mental patients that think it's an honour to die for billionaires who control every aspect of their lives, because it's the evolution of the slave to get people to that level. Yet, like I said, it has to go through many different things. Now we're at a stage where you have mental patients that have been dumbed down to such epidemic levels. They give intelligence to a fucking mobile phone and think that their mobile phone is cleverer than them. If your mobile phone is cleverer than you, then you are in deep fucking shit. A mobile phone is nothing on the capabilities of a human brain in any way, shape or form. My memory, although, you know, even just quickly talking, I can remember a lot. And then if I go back, you know, I can remember a whole 40 years of my life. And the more I go into it, the more I can remember and go back into the memory banks. It just takes a few days, a few weeks, or even a month to keep going over and over it. But the information is in there. So that is a database of epidemic proportions, and I'm nowhere near on fucking, you know, I don't work properly. I'm still a fucking, you know, I'm nowhere near the capabilities of my brain, because I'm a fucking, your brain's been targeted your whole life. So just look at the, you know, the speed it can react is 1,000,000 times faster than a mobile phone or any form of technology. It's just because they fucked your body and brain down to fucking Mongo slow, dumbed down levels. The people are now gifting substandard fucking, you know, garbage and thinking that that is intelligent over them, because they've brains been fucked their whole life. So that's what they've done. So the conspiracy network, anyway, Jade Helm. So you've got Jade Helm. So that's on the internet. That's massive. That's in 2015. You know, and I'm trying to tell people, look, because there's so much bollocks mixed up with all of that. It's very hard to make, and there's so much of it. It's very hard to get a coherent thing of what's going on as well. So that's how they do it, again, like all media. So everything they just bombard with so many different experts, so many different opinions, so many different things, you can't actually get to the point, and everything is open to discussion according to what different experts come out with, which is what I've highlighted the media does, so that no one can agree on everything. Because it's very hard to spend that much time with even one other person and watch exactly the same things. And what that does is, along with all these other things, so the Bible code, 2012, the Mayan doomsday prophecy, the millennium bug, all of these things are done over and over again to get people running around saying shit to other people. And it works along the principles of the boy who called wolf. So over and over and over and over and over the years, they've got vast amounts of the population and put this bullshit into everyone else's. They think the world's going to end. Oh, the world's ending. Oh, the world's going to end. Look at these wackos. They think the world's going to end. So the second you try telling people that, you know, bad shit's going to... Oh, what, do you think the world's going to end? No. In fact, the people that you believe are the doomsday mongers, that are the doomsday prophecies, that tell you that the world is going to end all the time. Yet when a normal person tries to tell you that something big is happening, who do you think the world is going to end? Because of all of that shit. Over and over and over and over again. So on the internet, on that conspiracy, they've done that for years, and they keep doing these things, saying that something big is going to happen that year, and it gets people panicking, running up to the people they care about, trying to tell them about shit, and then shit don't happen. So then they just go, I'm not even listening to you now, when something is actually really happening. The boy who cried wolf. So that's how that all works. It is literally, the conspiracy network has been set up, was set up, and has been on the go for over 20 fucking years, using the mainstream media to advertise that, and the book market, literature, TV programs, and then the internet on big scale. To keep impregnating that over and over again, to get a massive split in the population, to get vast amounts of people to repeat absolute fucking garbage to people that they might go, oh yeah, well that sounds right. Oh no, you're fucking on about lizards and that. Fuck off, you're what, evil Bono. Oh yeah, fucking hell. Oh, what, Pizza Express, isn't it, eating people's pineal glands? Oh yeah, they're murdering and raping children, you know, and all of this. They're using vibrational frequency technology against us, man. The smart meters are fucking us up, man. Because once you don't believe, and you know that it's all bullshit, they are then pumping a million times more bullshit in, to get people to repeat that to other people, so that when something real and massive is on the go in the world regarding everything that Alex Jones and them had said, just differently, but it's exactly the same as what they were telling everyone was going to happen, and we might not just be at that takedown stage yet, because it's a lot easier to trick everyone into taking that shit than it is to fucking force them into it on the off. And the boy who cried wolf is why they have spread all that bullshit about the Mayan doomsday prophecies. Jade Helm, which is what I came round to. Now, the second after Jade Helm, because I was looking, and this is when I bought all the stuff. I had a kid to look after. I couldn't get anyone to look at it. I couldn't get anyone. I said, I don't know. I'm trying to get just people to fucking look. I said to a few people, I'm working for a company called Maxi Tiles at the time. That's who I'd started with back after Thingy Bob. There I had to offer a couple of people out. One lanky fucking cunt, 6'5" streak of piss. I said, he's trying to take the piss. I said, have a look at them videos. Tell me what you think. And shut your fucking mouth and just fucking look at that and tell me what you think. Then he starts coming out with bullshit and then tries, because what they do is they get scared and then try to think that you're an idiot and think that they can get cheeky and gobby to you and think that you're a dickhead. And he started fucking gobbing off. I said, you carry on with your mouth. I warned him, and then I had to offer it to him properly, because, who the fuck do you think you are? Another one, the supervisor, big fat ginger geezer, and he'd done loads of fucking weights. He was like a big fat bodybuilder that thought he was well hard. I'm trying to tell him something. He's gone, look, I don't want to listen. I said, look, will you stop fucking showing me bad? He went, you carry on and I went, you're what? You're what? Come on then. Because, and that's what took place. That's what takes place everywhere, because, you could end up rowing with a lot of people because they start getting cheeky because you're trying to tell them facts and they're dim-witted fucking monged down fucking little cunt spastics, retardants that haven't got a clue about anything in the world, have never had a clue about anything, that sit about playing computer and playing with themselves or doing whatever. And they think they can fucking take the piss out of you, and, because that's how they divide everyone. Everywhere you go and you try to tell people. Now they don't. Well, they do. Still, I have to tell everyone. I have to tell everyone anyway, wherever I go, because you've just got dickheads everywhere. But, if you're trying to tell normal people about shit, they start to try to mug you off and attack you, or think they can fucking act like a dickhead to you when you're just trying to help them out. And it turns people into thinking, well, I'm not even going to bother telling anyone anymore. Fuck them all. I hope they all die. Because they've shut everyone off. You know what I mean? You wake up to, and Russell Brand, another one, wearing makeup, puts a bathrobe on so it looks like he's fucking, in his house, just, and he's reading from a script. It cuts every 2 seconds to piece together video. My wonderful awakening people, all 5 million, and he tells you how many people he's got viewing and his things every fucking day. The big awakening is happening, everyone. They're back, nothing's happening. Nothing is happening. He's a dickhead. He's another paid superstar that they made sure that everybody knew who he was. He was put on everything over 20 years nearly. put on it over and over again, put into the press over and 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 over again, to make sure that Russell Brand was a household name. And his answer is what? Watch him on YouTube. Just watch me on YouTube. Everybody's waking up now. It's all just going to go away. Wackos. Okay. Just going to go away. It may even been in that Orwell book. I think it's Orwell. Orwellian. For some reason, I've got Orwellian something in my head about Orwell. Something like that. Again, I don't know. I can't, because I never read that book. But I have heard about this book. Is it 1984 or some shit like that? And they claim that empires just crumble. Don't worry about it, everyone, man. Empires just crumble. Okay. Cuckoo. Watch Superstars on telly. The world is just going to get better. Cuckoo. Because you need to look at all the other information that you know about. It's big. It's big issues. They can do a lot. It's going to go away. Hey, man. 5 million. They want that amount. They want big people, a bigger number of people, not to fucking do what they want. Because they want that split in the population, and they want the people that scream for protection to scream for the murder of anyone who goes against what the authorities are dictating. So that further down the line, once this world, this earth, is under complete military world that just screams for them to attack and join armies, for it's a military world, a military state, where they would want the owners to then go from this world to other worlds. Now, anyone who thinks that there is only one world in all of creation is an idiot. Space doesn't exist. But there are other worlds. But not up. There could be worlds down through the oceans. The sky, there's no such thing as space. That's what the alien bullshit is. And it's all videoed out. To get the next evolution of the slave and to get the machinery bit. But through the oceans there could be other worlds. Now let me just give people this quickly. I actually don't have to pour it out because I can do it in the bottle. Now, what they've done with the conspiracy network as well is tell people the truth about the biggest truth there is. And it's the easiest, most ridiculous thing on earth. But it works exactly the same way as the alien shit. Because it sounds... And conspiracy shit. So they say, oh, you are just a complete wacko. Because it sounds ridiculous to a mental patient. But if you actually... It's the easiest thing on earth to prove. Bar none. And it is the most ridiculous load of bollocks there is. And that is that the earth is not a giant spinning ball. And in fact, that you are on a flat, motionless surface. That is flat, that has hills coming off of it and mountains, but goes off of level. And you have oceans. That are level. What takes place, no matter what container, liquid always finds level. That's a scientific test that everybody can do. Always finds level. The top of liquid is how you tell true level. That's why you use liquid to find level. I'll put it into the glass because you can see it easier in the glass, I think. But anyway, both vessels. If I turn that vessel that way, that vessel that way, if you look at the water, doesn't matter, it finds level. Finds level. Finds level. Water, the laws of water, liquid, it's a law that everybody can do and get a scientific test. Proves that water operates on level. According to science fiction, it's gravity that is able to create level while I'm actually upside down, but it reads my mind because it knows which way I'm doing the glasses and which way I'd like water to move. Every single thing in life is done off of level, the principle of level regarding water, and off of level in how to make that water go in any direction on Earth. Every river, every source has to, for it to flow in a direction, has to go downhill. And if you follow that down and use the level, it would tell you that that was taking place. Or level. Can't go uphill. That's a physical impossibility. Until you get to the weird world of science fiction where gravity makes everything that's physically impossible to everyone else possible in the magical world of science fiction. A magical, mystical force that was made out of an explosion, according to science. And they used hydrogen in the forming of water. So if you put two things together and it go like that, it can make a droplet of water. And then they claim that there was billions of years of fucking mutating fucking bacteria that's just created these fully functional machines that your internal system is a complete, is an engine, basically, a food processing, liquid processing machine that grows, that operates as a machine with electrical impulses, came out of an explosion. Now, even if they claim all the ingredients were just floating around in nothingness, and then a bang happened, and then it just created all of life, and gravity came out of this magical, mystical fucking force. And that then started spinning balls around, and then that started spinning the balls around the big burning balls, and then it also, with volcanoes and green algae, created an atmosphere. And then gravity does this. Gravity is the science fiction's god. It's god to science fiction. What about that? Gravity. How comes that doesn't work anywhere else? Every scientific test, gravity. What about that? Gravity. And gravity does everything, because gravity does a million different fucking things according to science fiction. It just does everything to create an illusion of life on a level surface, while actually you're on a giant spinning ball spinning round. So not only does it fuck your entire senses of your body, so that you don't know when you're allegedly upside down, allegedly spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Again, every scientific study, the rotation throws out. Yet gravity makes a rotation suck in. So it does the opposite to what normally happens. Same as an explosion. Explosions go out. They don't create. One tiny little fucking experiment in a very fucking small space that you can do to make a droplet of water is not justification and proof that an infinite explosion that's still rippling out and creating these worlds could come out of an explosion. Explosions destroy in every experiment on Earth. Oh my God, man, terrorists have blown up 3 blocks of Baghdad. It's killed 20,000 people. Blown up fucking half the fucking buildings in that area and created an octopus, a horse, an orangutan, and a wasp. They come flying out of the explosion. But it destroyed everything else. That's never happened, does it? No. So explosions go out, and then this magical force that didn't exist before, called gravity, sucks everything back together and does that. But anyway, the laws of level work. Again, a scientific test everyone can do. That water will always find level. But anyway, the flat earth shit is another way, because they spread that as well on the conspiracy network. Just quickly on this, because basically when I first looked at this shit, I was like, wow, no way, these wackos. Because I was nearly at that stage because of the amount of gunk that is mixed up in with it. All I had, basically, I had a kid to look after. If some shit did go down and I knew about it and did nothing about it, I wouldn't have that. I wouldn't want that on my dying brain. I was too much of a coward to do anything. Just let it happen. Just pretended it weren't going to happen. Nah, because that's not my character. I'll put up a fight in any way, shape or form. And I was lucky at that time, to a degree, that I had just had cancer. It's only skin melanoma, but melanoma is a very serious type of and rare type of skin cancer that, you know, kills people. It's a lot more dangerous than any, and melanoma only accounts to 1% of skin cancers that are found, by the way. A lot of people get confused because they call it melanoma and non-melanoma. There's two different types. Non-melanoma isn't as bad as, which is the common type of cancer, and then you have melanoma. But if you mention melanoma, everyone's had melanoma. I've had that, because they will just pick up the word melanoma and remember that word rather than the non-bit at the beginning. And you say you didn't have that because it's quite rare. No, I've had it. Don't tell me what I'm pretty certain that you haven't, because it's quite rare. It only accounts for 1% of skin cancers that are found in the country. So unless I've bumped into fucking, you know, I've met 10 people that have had melanoma, you know, I must be fucking bumping into some, you know, they've had other non-melanomas. So it's quite dangerous, and ultimately I had to contemplate dying. You know, I could die, you know. So when I did find out all the other shit, I was like, well, I've just had to, you know, just had cancer ultimately. That's out of my hands. This is in my hands up to a degree. I don't care how big the fucking situation fucking seems. I will put up some fucking form of a fucking fight. You won't take me lying down like a fucking little rat mutt, coward, pussy, little fucking cunt of a human being. So that was why I just thought, fuck it, I can't take the risk. If there is anything going to happen, I'll make sure that I've got at least some sort of shit to make sure that me and my boy will be better off than if I didn't have that shit. Did something. Something is always better than nothing. Nothing is the action of a fucking complete wacko mental patient. And to pretend that you haven't witnessed all that information and make something else up in your mentally ill, fucked up little cunt fucking brain is even worse. You know, you are a complete wacko, deluded fucking lunatic, woo 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 woo, make-believe wacko. Which is why I don't worry about a lot of the population, because I know that that's what the majority of the population is. Anyway, so yeah, the flat earth thing works exactly the same way as the alien shit, although the flat earth is the only thing that is credible and realistic. But there could well be other worlds. It's very what's the word? Well, if there's one world, there, you know, there's a good chance there could be other worlds, and there's millions of different life forms on this one Earth, and they know fuck all about the ocean. They can't go down that deep in the ocean because it's a lot harder. They know less about the ocean than they claim they know about space, because it's a lot harder to go down through. And as I've pointed out, that's how water works. It's level. Yeah? It's level. Now, what takes place every single fucking day are the tides, where the level of water goes down and then comes back up. Now, science fiction claims that a giant mirror ball called the moon is sucking that water around with its gravitational pull, while at the same time the Earth is pulling that down with its gravitational pull. So it just moves it around on the ball of that surface with its gravitational pull, but doesn't pull lakes. Doesn't pull your bath water. Doesn't pull your fucking cup about. Just the ocean's floor that goes down and up. It either sucks water about or it don't fucking suck water about. And it couldn't just suck the largest lump of water about because that would be harder. And if the Earth has got some sort of form of magnetism, which is what they sort of claim gravity is, although you can move in the middle bit perfectly okay with this gravitational pull that's so strong it can suck billions of cubic tons of fucking liquid to the Earth while it's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Just quickly, I am going into this a little bit. I'll go into a little bit of a science lesson while I'm on this because there's plenty of it. A roundabout in a park, small one that spins at fucking hardly any miles per hour. The further you are out from the centre of a roundabout, the bigger the force. So the further out you are, the more you have to hang on and the faster you feel like you were travelling. And if you let go, you fly off. Scientific test that everybody can do. So the further out from the centre of the spin you are, the stronger the spin is. So if the Earth is rotating at 1,000 miles an hour, I can't work out, it doesn't matter, but you're fucking thousands of miles out from the centre of the fucking rotation, meaning that 1,000 mile an hour spin, that miles hour out, is G-force like you could fucking can't even contemplate. But gravity just stops all that from taking place because this gravity shit does everything. And somehow gravity is able to suck the water down onto that ball at that G-force level. That giant fucking mirror ball is then able to suck that water around because of its gravitational pull. But a human being, which is also 99% water, can jump off of the surface of the Earth so it's not stuck to the ground. There's no force pulling you down to stop you flying off. Because it's just a story for a fucking complete wacko that doesn't understand anything. The laws of physics. See, there are laws in place that follow every single scientific fucking test. At school, I was educated that you cannot call something science unless it is a scientific test that everybody can do and get the same fucking result. That's what I was educated. And that is what science is. Yet you have science, which is scientific tests that you can do. And then you have science fucking fiction, which is your creation and existence story. And their answer to all of that is a magical, mystical fucking force that seems to do fucking everything. It sucks, it spins, it creates illusions of flatness. It reads your mind when you want water to travel in other ways, so you can put pipes in for the asylum. And all of that. And it goes against, and it makes the impossible possible on every law there is regarding the laws of physics, the laws of level, the laws of a million different other fucking things. It's just because it is a fucking load of bullshit that has just been pumped into little babies' heads from birth. You live on the ball. See that toy ball? That's what you live on. On the TV is the most seen sign there is the ball. At the beginning of every news programme, you used to just get the spinning ball when the TV weren't on. The spinning ball. You live on the ball. You live on the ball. You live on the ball. Your whole life, global this, global that, when that makes no actual it's fucking ridiculous. Gunk for a fucking complete fucking little wacko baby. And it is the easiest thing to prove, but you are dealing with complete wacko mental patients that can't cope with the basics in life regarding anything to do with science. And people that claim to be people of science argue with the fucking science about it because they're just religious nutters. Because that's what a science person is a religious wacko, because it's a religion. The science, religion of science fiction. That's why every fucking film about space is called science fiction, because it's science fiction. Because it's a story about a place that doesn't exist. And a place that no fucking person on Earth, normal person, can fucking see. All their evidence that they claim is of space is of dodgy video footage, and they have the technology to be able to do that. On my pages, on Earth, they have the capabilities by flying an aeroplane and doing that to create what they would call weightlessness, which they reckon it takes place in space, regarding liquids floating through the air and sticking together. That can all be done on Earth in a plane. That is unarguable. That is a fact, and on my pages I have proved that. What they can't replicate on Earth are the properties of gravity at any level. All they can show you, people, is illusions using the flashy fucking screens. The land of make-believe that makes no sense to the actual world that you can see with your own fucking eyes. What takes place every fucking day of the fucking year are the oceans drop. Water does not operate where it will stick to the outside of a fucking ball anywhere. They cannot get water to stick to the outside of a spinning ball anywhere on Earth. But they can replicate what they claim is weightlessness in an aeroplane while doing that. And every single fucking footage of a fucking shuttle that they claim is in space is of a aeroplane that is strapped to a fucking rocket. So, and the big smoke, and people go, it's a tourist attraction where you see the rocket take off. And then all that happens is they fly over an arc like that, and it disappears into the horizon, into the clouds, where you think it looks like it's just going straight up. As soon as it gets to the clouds, it arcs over. Drops the rocket, and then the aeroplane flies and fucking lands somewhere else. So the interior of what they are showing you is exactly the same size as the fucking aeroplane that they can replicate that on, which I have put on, which they done with fucking the spastic in a fucking wheelchair, fucking dribbling. We've got to keep the world talking, you know what I mean? In a mental asylum, you can get a fucking dribbling fucking wreck that can't even fucking talk, can't even move, in a fucking wheelchair, who is an expert on space. Cuckoo! Cuckoo. But anyway, that's scientific fact. That is fact that can be replicated in a fucking aeroplane. What can't be replicated is anyone getting water to stick to a spinning ball. That's impossible, because that is against the laws of all science, physics. Anyway, water operates on a level, which means it has to have two sides. From what I can make out regarding the Antarctic Treaty and things like that, and the flying over the Pacific, is that what you have in the middle is ice. The North Pole in the center of whatever the earth is. Round the outside, you also have a giant sheet wall of ice, which they claim is Antarctica. But they claim it's down at the bottom of the earth. But there's an Antarctic treaty that is governed and patrolled by more countries on earth than you could possibly imagine, you know, because it goes around the entire outside of the earth, and then the Pacific Ocean goes all the way around that, because you never fly over the Pacific. And there's a wall of ice. So that is the only way that water could be detained on our earth, because that's the only, no different from a lake has sides and banks, and inside that is water that is dead fucking level. Ice wall there, ice wall in the centre, lumps of earth that stick out of that ocean. The bottom of the ocean dropping and rising would cause that, the tides, what they call the tides. The bottom of the ocean has gone down and come back up. That would cause the level of water to drop and rise. And that is what pumps oxygen into the air that the entire world breathes. It's a pump that pumps water in and creates air pressures. That's sense. Because that's the only sensible way that that could fucking work, according to the laws of water and level, in tests that everybody can do. Water, the laws of water are that water finds level always. It can't go round the outside of a ball, because it would just drip off. And a spinning ball at 1,000 miles an hour, that is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, which means so many thousand miles out, that would be G-force on a level that is, you can't replicate on Earth. They test what they, you know, again, every fucking fair rides operate on that principle. So if they have a wall on the outside and are spinning, you will fly from the centre and just stick to the wall, so that way you can be put upside down. The earth has no edge, it's a ball. That's not a ball. That's a disc with walls on the side to stop everything on it that's spinning off. A bucket, you go like that with a bucket of water. It's because the water is contained inside a prison, so it is unable to escape. So that force makes the water stick up, because the water's natural reaction is to fly off with that rotation. But this magical gravity shit is able to do everything. Make the impossible possible, because it's fucking science fiction's fucking God. But they put that into there as well, so that when you try, oh, well, you think the world is flat? Well, the world is on a flat base that has mountains and shit coming off of it. And the water on that tells you that in every way, shape or form. And you can use a level on every way, and it will be accurate to fucking within the millimeters. And everything off level in that millimeters, everything off of level is enough to carry water in any direction. Water can't just be held stationary, because that's against the laws of physics. Science is a scientific test that everybody can do and get the same result. But people who claim to believe in science argue with the science. It's the most ridiculous, stupid thing. Anyway, what you have is a flat plane, yeah, which would be called a planette if there are more. With dome that goes over the top. That's why the sun and the moon, when they are lower in the sky, are bigger, because they are closer and lower down in the dome. It rises as it goes up the sky. It gets smaller the higher in the sky, and then as it comes down it gets bigger again. That's what your eyes can see every day. It's not an illusion, man. On Google I have been bombarded with optical illusions, but they are pictures that are purposely drawn to draw your eye to something else. It's very rare that optical illusions take place regarding your own eyes and every fucking day. Most people that have worked in jobs where you work off of level are able to spot something that's not level just a couple of mil out, a mile away, because their eyes know what level fucking looks like and how it should look, falling one way and down to millimeters, because their eye is trained on that level, because they've had to work with those levels their whole life. The laws of liquid work on every single fucking place on earth. A plane, just quickly, a plane that takes off. Why are they using planes? Why don't they just use balloons and just take a balloon off, let the world spin underneath, and then lap back down? But how do you land on something that's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour if you've taken off from it? It's impossible, because the plane is not travelling at 1,000 miles an hour. So it'd be impossible for a plane to land on something that's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. A balloon could just take off and try to land on, but you can't land on something that's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Your eyes can't even see something that's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Big does not matter. But it is big! It's because you're dealing with fucking 2-year-old fucking little... Big! If you get a bee or fly, something very tiny that can go 1,000 miles an hour, a motorbike that can go 1,000 miles an hour, a car that can go 1,000 miles an hour, and a fucking lorry that can go 1,000 miles an hour, and you look at them, they will all be travelling at exactly the same fucking speed. If that place where you took off from then shot away at 1,000 miles an hour, yeah, you wouldn't be able to see it in a second, because it would have spun off. You could just take off, according to what's taken place. You should be able to just take off in a balloon. It's spinning, and then you could land. So you wouldn't have to fly anywhere and use fuel. But a plane takes off, levels, and flies at that whole, sets to autopilot, because it's flying along a long, flat fucking plane, and then lands and travels exactly the distance of the speed that it is travelling, more or less. Obviously you've got a little bit of wind factor either direction, but doesn't alter the distance that you fly that much. That it's impossible to do that. If you're flying around a ball, you would have to constantly be at the controls, turning the nose to fly round a fucking ball. You can't just fly and go to level and then set it at level to fly across at level the whole fucking way. There are not mystical substances, gravity, that can read the mind of the fucking plane flyers to keep sucking them around at 1,000, that exact height at 1,000 miles, because people just start dreaming up gunk inside their mentally ill heads and stop ignoring all the facts that it's just fucking gunk for a fucking little cunt wacko little baby. Anyway, there could be other worlds, but through the ocean. Definitely not through the fucking sky. And again, it works every way. A dome. If you've got a dome and place a dome into water, the water doesn't go into the dome. No matter how far you push that dome down, it will keep that pocket of air inside. That's how domes, and same way, that's how a diving used to work. You know, you turn a boat upside down and push it, it will go underwater and maintain that air pocket. When it rains, while it's sunny, it creates a rainbow, which is a dome shape, because that's the arc of light. Now, what most people done because of all the shit is because you've been told two things. It's either science fiction or one of the wacko religions. So it's either a giant accident, explosion, magical gravity god that massively magics illusions. It's all just a giant illusion, man. Caused by gravity, the gravity god. Or it's God that wants you to beg. So people shit themselves when they find out about the reality of it. When there is science, there has to be a purpose for creation. What that is, I'm not there yet. But creation is not up for discussion, because everything is a fully functional machine, including the earth, that operates as a machine, operated with a fucking light source that feeds and ensures that the entire fucking surface of the earth and water are able to live from that light by design. The weather is by design, but when you harm the surface of the earth and the oceans, the weather can then be used to scare people, because of a few things. A human being, again, the sun. They claim that the sun causes cancer. Why is that? It's because there's no canopy of trees for everyone to be under in the shade. You're not meant to be out in the open. Sunbathing, you're a fucking primate, and like all the other animals, the majority of the animals were meant to live under fucking trees, shade. But they've massacred the whole landscape, so there are no trees or shade. And then petrify you with the fucking sun. And again, because of the wind and what they call flooding in areas where they've massacred the fucking forest and put concrete, which they shouldn't have put concrete there, because concrete doesn't allow water through it, will flood. Oh, it's the weather coming in. And the mental patients, because the mental patients are fucking petrified by everything and believe everything. Gunk. For fucking 2-year-olds. If gravity sucked you to the earth, you'd be able to tell when you was upside down, though. But you'd just be sucked to the earth. I know when I'm upside down. I know when I'm fucking stood straight. I know when I'm moving. I can feel moving. And I've already been over it. They claim it's like a car when you're inside the atmosphere of a car. But a car moving in a straight line, you can move about and do what you want. But a car bombing round a fucking roundabout makes you fucking spin out to the fucking edge of the fucking door because of the force of the spin. So their example, what they tell to fucking mental patients, but they can tell those mental patients anything because they've got those mental patients thinking that crosses protect them from the devil and get them to a cloudy fucking magical fucking wacko wonder world of love. Because that's what you're fucking dealing with. I might delete this fucking video. Anyway, it's gone on for too long and I've gone off fucking subject. I might just continue on with what I'm fucking saying because I'm fucking... Anyway, there may be other planets. To think that the Earth is the only thing ever created, ever, is a bold statement. There could be fucking thousands of other worlds, millions of other worlds, because I've not left this one. But that is a possibility. So to claim that's a ridiculous idea and a possibility is ridiculous. Same way that if the spinning spaceball world was fucking fact, there would have to be other life on one of those things. Religion just thinks that there's this wacko called God that's just created a world to get people to go and live with him and tell him how great he is. Because that you are dealing with complete fucking goo-goo gaga wackos. But they believe in that and that when the actual Bible tells you that the earth is flat with a fucking dome over it called the firmament. But the mental health patients just make other shit up in their head because they have been tricked by the fucking video camera footage of what they call was the moon landings, and then later just, gunk. They can show anyone everything. But the Bible does tell everyone. But that's what I'm saying. That's what you are up against. The creation story in the fucking Bible and the doctrine around all of that states that the earth is flat with a firmament over the top. A dome. Everything in your life sense tells you that that is how water works, and that is what your fucking eyes see every day with the fucking sun coming up and going down. And if you look at the moon and the sun, if they are in low down in the sky, they are bigger than they are when they're higher in the sky. What does take place is that the stars spin round in the sky. But that doesn't mean that the earth is spinning. The sky could be spinning. What is a star? I don't know. All a star is just a fucking twinkling little fucking light on the fucking sky. Doesn't mean it's a burning sun, a giant big burning ball with its own fucking solar system. My eyes just see a twinkling little light on the sky. Is that a light in the sky? Is that a light beamed up to the sky? Is the sky moving? I don't know. I don't fucking care, because that fucking moving sky doesn't affect my fucking life in any way, shape or fucking form. Space is something that nobody will ever see with their own eyes. Normal person. Because it's fucking gunk. It only lives and exists on the fucking TV screen for wackos. But that works the same way as the fucking conspiracy theorist shit. Because people start calling you a wacko when the evidence is it's just fucking ridiculous. It's just gunk. It's just shit for fucking 2-year-old babies. The Big Bang. If you blow up all the fucking parts of a fucking car, it won't make you a car, will it? If you blow up all the parts to a car, does it make it a car? No. They made cars that whack their exhausts in other cars and make little move other cars. No. That's all design. Everything is design down to a fucking T. But scientists don't seem to be able to understand design. Yeah, just happens. Machines just happen. It was a fluke. It was a massive fluke. It's just a fluke. Life is just an accidental fluke created by gravity, God, according to science fiction. When, you know, there is science to fucking creation, but it is creation all the same, because someone had to design it to make it work, which is what it does do, bar a human being is breaking it. Because a human being is not even is so dumb, so thick, so fucking much of a fucking dumbed down little fucking cunt spastic little fucking mongo retardant baby. Because it's been educated and turned into that by society and their fucked up mentally ill fucking wacko parents. Because it only takes one generation of wackos to put mental illness onto the population, and then they just change that mental illness over time. To first create violence and then create babies of epidemic proportions, spoiled little brats, cunts and fucking wackos. But yeah, the flat earth shit is used exactly the same way. But the flat earth thing is what exposes all the other conspiracy theorist wackos, because they are on the alien robot shit. And that blows them out of the water, and all the evidence, and there is more evidence. And it's the most easiest thing to fucking see, and it's what you experience every day. It's not up for debate. It's only up to the debate for people that think that the TV is real life, or a book is real life. But 90% of the world believe that a book is real life that tells them about another magical world and this love place, for being a disgusting, revolting human being piece of shit that just says how great God is. Because that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a fucking mental asylum full of fucking complete fucked up little cunt wackos. So if you've got a world that believe that shit, you can then fucking tell everyone any other bollocks, because it sounds intelligent to that. But that's what the world believe, and then they just make that into that. God is the universe, man. It's just this big, wild, spinning ball world. It's God. God is the spinning ball world. I'll ask the spinning ball world to look after me. And the universe did. By making sure that I make loads of money as a slave. Wackos. And the conspiracy network took people into all these ancient myths and shit around the world, and meditation, and thinking that there's magic in the Hermetica, the Greek myth, because it's just, all of those stories are written as gunk. They are just complete fucking waffle. When you've read as much as I had, you can piece together a very small story in it, but what they are claiming is very sketchy bullshit and gunk. It's written, every single fucking religion on earth and ancient myth system is a fucking is a fairy tale book for fucking 2-year-old babies. The earth never believed any of that shit. It's just easy to build a load of fucking buildings at a time when no one can fucking travel around the world or see the world, because there's no way for them to do that, and then open that up to the world and educate them that those buildings are from an old time, and there's all this bollocks that accompanies them. And it proves God as well at the same time, because that's where the fucking Jew was, and the Egyptians were being mean to the fucking Jew instead of the fucking German being mean to the fucking Jew. But anyway, I don't care about any of them Jews or any religious wacko on earth, because they're not worth wasting your fucking time on. And a science fiction religious wacko is a complete wacko as well. That is, if not worse, on a lot of fronts. It's just an accident, just a fluke. It just happened. The gravity god did everything. Because you are dumbed down to even, there's not even any importance or meaning to your life whatsoever. And the religious wackos, a lot of them do try and think that they, you know, to try to help other people. Whereas a science wacko thinks that there's no problem. It's just about, there's nothing. Everyone else is scum. I can do what the fuck I like. It's nothing. There's no point to existence. Raping and murder goes unpunished. When it does. Because there's no one after life to punish for those things. Because it's not a test from God. There is no creator of life like that punishes people for wickedness and fucking, because that's just gunk. That's just for obedient populations, for the owners to control the population and control the world and get them to behave how they want them to do. Meaning being just an obedient fucking slave that hates everyone else, thinks they're all sinners and weird, blames them instead of blaming the rulers of the asylum for creating that. Because they think that that's created by unholiness, when it was holiness that got people to that state so that they can then be taken into a different, weirder world of debauchery and fucked up freak shit, where mental illness is celebrated as fucking fame, heroicism, fucking whatever bollocks. I'm waffling. I need to cut this fucking video. Fuck this fucking video. Fuck fucking little cunts as well. Believing in shit, it just winds me up. You're dealing with fucking spastics everywhere that believe the most ridiculous fucking bullshit, fucking spastic fucking gunk out of their fucking mouths, inside their fucking heads. And they will try to tell you their mental illness over and over and over and over fucking again. You know, I'm trying to explain to people the fucking size of the fucking situation. People can't cope with basic fucking simple fucking science and simple understanding of what is around their fucking eyes and around their fucking ears. They can't cope with fucking the most basic fucking things because you have a fucking dumbed down spastic fucking bunch of cunt fucking mongos everywhere. Fuck them cunts. That's why I can't care about them. They believe shit on every fucking front. It's a magical fucking fairy tale land of fucking ballbag and bollocks. You know what I mean? Fucking gunk. Fuck. Well, I've got the hump now. I've given myself the fucking hump. Anyway, later.